Coming up to the stage now, we have Mr. Malcolm Holt, who will be delivering the 2024 LINX Budget presentation.
Thanks, Jeremy, and good afternoon. As Curtis says, the sunset beckons for me. And just thinking on what was said about Howard, I would like to offer my personal thanks to Howard. I think when I joined in 2016, I don't think he necessarily welcomed my coming into the company. Howard could sometimes be challenging. No, Howard's always challenging, always. But his integrity and attention to detail was quite something else. And he certainly helped me while we worked together. So I'd like to say thanks, Howard. So, Budget 2024. No Black Friday offers here, I'm afraid. Let's see if I can operate this. Probably not. Okay, the budget paper was issued as usual about 3 weeks before this meeting at the end of October, and all members were invited to, if they had questions, to email Curtis, and we would do a Q&A on any of the questions were raised. No questions have been raised, so there won't be a Q&A on those. I think if we look at where we are, we're still facing continuing inflation, and current predictions are that inflation is not really going to get much less by the end of the year. But with the predicted continuing growth in our services, we're planning to absorb the cost inflation and hold most of our prices at this year's levels for 2024. But particularly for LINX Nova, to make a 10% price reduction to try and incentivise growth in America. We anticipate trading conditions will start to improve in 2024, and we are predicting a fairly significant income growth, which reflects the brighter outlook. On the other side, though, we expect continuing pressures on our costs. So the results that we are predicting are going to be a small surplus, which is last year we predicted a small deficit, which will probably be going to turn into a small surplus by the end of this year. But looking at comparing 2024 with 2023, I say we're looking at about a 16–70% increase in revenue, a lot of it coming from the new 400 gig services, but also bringing along 100 gig and 30 gig. The only casualty in the growth for this is the conversion of 10 gig going upwards, where we are seeing a decline in that service. But I think going back to when I joined, this is just a natural transition as we move to higher bandwidth. Compared to the budget for last year, I think actually bless Jeremy is converting my slides for me, so I'm going to repeat it myself if I'm not careful. The capex for next year, we're looking at about 3.1 million compared with about 2.7, about a 15% increase, and that reflects our continuing investment in the network and upgrading to new technology and our expansion. If we have a look at the operational results for 2023 as we expect it to be compared with 2022, we see the member applications coming in, maybe at not quite as high levels we've seen in the past, but with consolidation of members, the actual net growth of members is not that high. If we look at the services, 400 gig is starting to take hold, and we believe that by the end of next year it's going to be a fairly significant increase again. 100 gig still increasing, well, the new 30 gig is picking up. As I said, the casualty is the slight reduction in 10 gig. But reflecting what's happening in the network, we're looking at about a 20% increase in connected capacity, which I think is probably about the same as it was last year. Now, if we look at the forecast for the end of this year, which we are using the October figures for against budget, it's a good result. We're in line with budget. In revenue, we're slightly over. On cost, we're smack on, which is always a suspicious figure to have when you're exactly the same as budget, which gives us the surplus, we think, of 0.1 million against the budget of a deficit of 0.1 million. So an amazing 200% better than budget. Fantastic. With CapEx, I said, around 2.8, which is more or less in line with budget. The only thing on CapEx I would say, we are expecting quite a lot of deliveries between now and the end of the year. If they don't take place, we may not exactly hit that figure. Well, that went a bit quicker than I was expected. Sure, we can go over it again if you like. Anyway, any questions from the floor?
Any questions?
Well, thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Malcolm.